Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Kyra Schaefer, CEO of As You Wish Publishing, and we're doing something really fun and unique. We are bringing in our amazing, wonderful, beautiful startup to stand out authors. If you happen to hear a dog walking around behind me, just know that's Honey, and she's here offering emotional support for us today. I want to introduce our interviewee today. I'm very excited to introduce you to Sara Blumenfeld. Sara Blumenfeld helps clients clear stuck energies and limiting beliefs to restore their divine light using techniques like the emotion code, belief code, EFT, entity clearing, and new vision frequency scanning. She supports deep energetic healing. She also leads a monthly online quantum frequency group, providing themed energetic support and live sessions. You can learn more at sarablumenfeld.com or email Sara at saraconnectsyou.com. And if you mention this book and Startup to Stand Out, you'll get a free month in the quantum frequency group. So without further ado, Sara, how are you?
Awesome. So happy to be with you. Hi, beautiful friends.
Yes. So this is your first book with As You Wish Publishing, I believe, but
Indeed.
Not your first book.
That is correct.
Yes. So you've done other books in the past, and I want, and you've shared your expertise and your knowledge all along the way. And I have a few very intense questions for you to help our viewers, to help our you're ready to help our new entrepreneurs out there and those who may be seasoned, to kind of get some insights and understandings about, how they can move forward confidently in their dreams. So tell us more about you, and let's chat.
Okay. Well, I am a healing arts practitioner, have been since around 2010. I'm also a real estate agent. I studied personal development for many years, still do. And in 2010, my husband, now in spirit, got cancer and went through a whole bunch of stuff before he passed on. And part of that journey was finding the metaphysical side of life, which before that we had not been aware of. And that really changed everything. So one of the books that I have written, which is on Amazon, is called So Much More, A Story of What Else is Possible. And it's how Steve, my husband, communicates with me from the other side. Very cool stuff. And so I love books. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of them. So when the opportunity came to be part of this book, which a friend of mine recommended, who's also in the book, I was like, okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. Linda Ballesteros is one of our favorite people and humans on the planet. So for her to send you to us has been such a gift, and you're adding your wonderful energy to the book too. It's phenomenal. I love it when friends introduce us to their friends. It's just so beautiful and empowering and fun, and I just love it. So well, let's get into the nitty-gritty questions here. Okay. So what was the thing about the book that inspired you to share your story and start to stand out?
I rely a lot on my intuition in the work that I do. It's kind of necessary. And as you said, just being a great friend with Linda and she recommending the project, that gave me the first yes. And then just reading about what this book is meant to do for people, really show them how to stand up and start out in their business or keep going in their business. I immediately wanted to share what had transpired in Steve and I starting our business and how that led to so much more. So it was an easy yes, just from an intuitive standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, that I think that a lot of people were, kind of coming into there like, well, what is it? What does it mean? And what and we're really redefining success too with this book to help people understand that there's so many different varieties of understanding what that is for each one of us individually as well.
Right.
Yeah. And for me, it's definitely getting to work with my husband. So, there's a lot of wisdom to be taken from, coming from where you came from with him to start with. Yeah.
Yeah. Working with your spouse is a really, in my personal opinion, an awesome thing.
Yeah. You can definitely find the edges.
Yeah, right.
For sure. But I wouldn't trade it. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your journey that shaped your success?
The pivotal moment, as I thought about this question, is when we were introduced to the law of attraction. The first healing arts practitioner that Steve and I went to he was going through his journey, was someone who introduced us to the teachings of Abraham-Hicks.com. And Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, had been doing it already for 15 or 20 years. And we started listening to it and said to each other, how did we not know this? It was just like a whole new world opened up. And the more we looked into it, the more we wanted to know. And the more we knew, the more we wanted to learn and study the different modalities and really put it to work in our lives and in our business.
Yeah, I mean, law of attraction. I remember I was starting my healing practice in Asheville, North Carolina, 20 some years ago. And I remember like walking through the book aisle at the metaphysical store, and the book Asking It Is Given fell off the shelf at me. It fell off the shelf at me. I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, and I was super, super like woo.
Right.
At the time. And now I just have accepted that these crazy wild things happen at us. And so it lost a little bit of its magic in a way because they just happen. But that was a pivotal book for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first one I read as well. Asking It Is Given. Yep. And I use her material all the time in working with clients. I use the processes that she teaches because they're just so powerful.
I am going to add how people can contact you in a banner down below so that people can.
Ooh, a banner.
A banner.
How exciting.
What?
Well, you can just put .com after my name.
That's right. That's it. That's all we do. That makes things a lot easier.
Right? Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to scroll it. There we go.
Oh, look at that. Whoa.
I probably add a few more things here. Let's see.
That's so fun.
I would love to know, we haven't gotten to this point yet, but I would love to know about the quantum frequency group. Can you talk a little bit about that before we get into our next question here?
Absolutely. So this is a group I started back November was the first month. And I'm able to do this group because I use a technology called New Vision. And one of the things that software allows you to do is broadcast frequencies to other people or pets or cars. I mean, really anything you want. So in the group, each month we have a theme. This month's theme was health and well-being. November was gratitude. December was prosperity. So every month is a different theme. And I come up with a list of a lot of different frequencies. So affirmations, crystals, flower essences, like notes, colors, all these things having to do with the theme. And these frequencies then are sent out like a radio station, broadcasted to everyone in the group several times a day throughout the month. Besides that support, everyone is given the list of the frequencies that I've selected. And so they can, if they choose, use the affirmations or get one of the crystals that are mentioned and use it in some way. They can perhaps take one of the flower essences and use it, or an essential oil, diffuse it in their space. And so they can interact with whatever resonates with them to further enhance that frequency. In addition to that, we have 2 Zoom calls per month. And in those, we talk about the theme, we do some energy work, we do EFT tapping, and some of the Abraham Hicks processes, and just share, what's come up for us and how we can support each other. And those are recorded so that if you're not able to be on the call live, you get the recording of it. And it has been a hoot. I mean, some of the stories that people in group have, just from the energetic support, the support of the frequencies going out, the support of all of us together, participating, focusing in this way, has been really powerful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's incredible. I remember learning about flower essences a long time ago from a friend of mine, and it is powerful work.
Mm-hmm.
And quantum healing work is very powerful work too. It's transformative.
Yeah.
So how cool is it that when people talk about this book, that just to get in touch with Sara, and she will help you set up a free month.
A free month, yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for adding that,
Absolutely.
extra good nugget to the space.
Well, people have never heard of this before. They're like, I don't know what it is. Do I really want to do it? So just try it out for a month. No obligation, no cost. Just have some fun with it. See what shows up in your life experience and see if you want to continue.
I love it. All right. So my next question is, what's one piece of advice you give to other women looking to start or grow their business?
One piece. I think listening, paying attention to your thoughts and your words is very, very important. We get into patterns of speaking, patterns of thought that are prevalent in our society. That's how we're brought up. And when we are maybe speaking about our business, we might say things like, I don't really have enough clients. I don't know if this is going to work, those kind of things. Well, guess what? You're speaking into existence what just came out of your mouth. And so when we pay attention and talk about, I really love my business. I love helping people. I love working with people. This is so exciting. I'm looking forward to what's coming next, etc. Right? You want to speak into existence, and also in your thoughts the same, what your desires are, what you are choosing to create, right? Because you are creating something all the time. And if you just do it by default and what your practice patterns are, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get something going. But if you be intentional about it and choose your words and choose your thoughts, then it's going to be very helpful in creating.
What I've noticed along the way, having been a student of Esther and Abraham Hicks, was that it wasn't popular, or it wasn't like acceptable in certain situations to be a positive thinker.
Yeah.
To say to people, I am abundant, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm clear on my goals, and I am looking forward to what's next. And, I'm excited about the potential of good things coming. And I enjoy this process that's unfolding in front of me. And I don't know exactly what it all is, but it feels really good. And, to do that in kind of like regular, people look at you like you got 3 heads. They're like, well, who are you? Oh, so you have such a great life. And then you start, I mean, at least for me, especially in the beginning, it was like, well, now I've got to explain why no, my life isn't that good,
Right,
but
right,
I'm putting this activity, and then it messes up the whole ding ding thing, and now I've got to start all over again. Do you have
right.
any
If
thoughts
you,
on that? You
yeah,
know,
if
of
you
just
bring
being
down
like,
your
you know what, who
vibration,
cares?
yeah,
Yeah.
if you bring down your vibration to try to fit in with others, you're just doing yourself a disservice, right? Because you're
I'm
never going to
so
make
that
them
way
happy.
though. Yeah.
Right. You're never going to make them happy. A couple things that you said that are, I feel are important is the phrase I choose, right? You can say I am healthy or I choose health. Either one is very powerful. It's sometimes easier for people to say I choose this or that rather than I am if they kind of don't believe it. But I choose, of course, you choose health. Of course, you choose prosperity. Of course, you choose success, right? And the other thing was feelings, to pay attention to the fact that you have a business or basically anything that you're desiring in your life is because how you think you'll feel once you have it. So identify what the primary feeling is first, and then just keep noticing where that already is in your life and activate it on purpose with from little things that bring on that feeling of joy or happiness or growth or expansion, whatever it may be. Notice it where it already exists, and then do more things that activate it so that the energy of that increases, and then you'll attract more things of that same vibration, that same frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a teacher once that she said, whenever you had a good feeling in your heart, like whenever like something just even like the tiniest inkling, because I had dealt with really severe depression and anxiety at big chunks and significant points in my life. And she said, whenever you feel just that little feeling, drop your head to your chest and say, more, please, more, please, more, please. Oliver, more, please,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was such a nice little, touchstone, so it's finding
Mhm.
those places that bring you joy that are already happening. I love that. That is so key. It's fundamental
Yeah,
work there. And then, I mean, and I guess our the way that mainstream would approach that would be a gratitude list, right?
right, right. We have so much going on in our lives all the time that the things that are bringing us joy and laughter and whatever become routine, and we cease to acknowledge them anymore. So it's being intentional about noticing more these things that happen all the time in order to increase that by
Yeah,
acknowledging it.
and in business that is absolutely key,
Yeah,
because there are
absolutely. Hmm.
plenty of times where it's like, oh, this isn't working, but it's like, okay, this isn't working.
Right. And
How
and
can I change that?
what part of it is working though,
What
right?
is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I love that. It's such a good reframe
Yeah.
that business owners need. And I believe women are very, very good in general at switching gears.
Mm.
Like if we can find that something is working, we'll do it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We don't generally. I don't think women I'm just going to generalize women right now. Uh, we
Put
don't
them all in
generally.
one pile.
That's right. We don't stick to something that's not working for too long. We'll pivot pretty quickly. And what I love about that is that we do it based on, a lot of us do it based on a feeling. And it's like
Hmm.
we just sense something's off. Okay, well, I would like to move a little bit closer in the other direction now.
Right.
And I like that. I'm willing to change this. I'm looking forward to the change. Not maybe not I am yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah.
Right. I'm choosing it. I'm choosing something
Choosing
different.
it.
I'm choosing what feels better.
How do you define success, and how has that changed over time, if it has?
It depended on what I was doing, as far as like when I was working at a job for someone else, then for me, success was doing my job for them in such a way that it elevated their work and made what they were doing easier for them, and allowed them to take on more than they had in the past. Once I started in my own business, in the beginning, success was about how many people can we meet? How many people can we get in front of? How many clients can we get? How much income are we getting? That's,
Right.
I think, pretty typical when people first get into business. Now I would define success is, do I feel joy in my work? Am I making a difference in someone's life? Am I following my heart? Those kind of things.
That's significant. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's for me, it's freedom. It's like I can do what I want whenever I want.
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
which is never much. It's not like I'm going to be taking a fancy trip or anything, although that would be, I guess, okay. I'm not a big travel person, but I can, in the middle of the day, take a nap if I need to,
Mhm. Mhm.
or work in the middle of the night if that feels
Right.
better to me.
Right.
It's just, I love that flexibility. If I want to, go into town and have lunch, I can do that without telling somebody, hey, I got to go do it. It's
Right.
like, I just get to go, and
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
so I would say, like, for me, with, those people who are identifying success for themselves, is like finding out what it is that you want. I think the luxury sometimes is, you put in that first year that a ton of momentum is moving you toward a level of success that keeps the energy flowing in the business.
Right.
Like, you're making the meetings, you're talking to the people, you're doing the thing, you're creating a bit of an identity around, who you are and how you show up and what your product is, and you get really clear about it. And
Right.
then after that momentum is fully established, then I think we get to that point where we can take a step back and say, well, what do I really, really want? But we do have to lay some of that groundwork, that Maslow's hierarchy of
Right.
needs.
Right.
We got to food, water, shelter. We got to get that
Right.
established. But I think
Well,
we could flip it a bit and still stay with what our intention is.
yeah. And starting out, my advice to a new entrepreneur is, if you have a job, keep the job. Do this starting up your business on the side, because if you put the pressure on your little baby business of, this has to support me right now, that's often too much for the little baby business to carry. So if you can start while you still have reliable income from elsewhere, and you know what, if while you're in your business you decide to go get a job, that's beautiful
Oh,
too,
it's fine.
right? Don't
Yeah.
judge yourself or beat you up. I started working for a naturopathic doctor here in town near me in September. And I'm still doing my real estate, and I'm still doing my own coaching and healing business. And now I'm working with her too. And I love it so much. It brings a new level of excitement and forward movement and expansion and learning that I didn't have before. Right. So don't put yourself in a box that, well, I'm only an entrepreneur. I only have my own business if I'm working for myself and earning all my income, and I can't go work for the man anymore. Stop the stories that limit you, right? Just look at what's showing up, what brings you joy, what's going to expand, and things will show up because you've taken that step that you couldn't even see before.
Yeah, I think that energetically, if we take a little bit of that pressure off, especially for the money side,
Hmm.
then things start to open up.
Yeah.
I have also volunteered,
Mhm.
energetically, like, there's so many different understandings about, volunteering and doing things, and what's right, and doing it in a business and not doing it, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. Energetically, when I give, I always receive,
Yeah.
not from that person or that situation or that company or that whatever. It's but it comes back in some other way,
Hmm.
and so it's like releasing that, doing just whatever feels right, that next step that feels natural, and letting go of what it looks like. oh, well, you're getting a part-time job, so that means you're a failure. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
right? It's
Yeah.
just not true. It's just, no, I'm taking the energetic pressure off of me so
Yeah.
that I can enjoy the unfolding of this whole process here.
Beautifully said.
I
Yes.
love that. I love that you brought that out. That's so
Mhm.
key. That's so key. It sometimes really sabotages people.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's next for you, for your business, for your personal journey?
You know, when my first husband, so I've had two husbands pass, and when the first one passed, or maybe it was after the second one, I can't remember. I was in the job interview, and they're like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I so wanted to say, when you've had somebody die right in front of you, there is no such thing as where do you think you're going to be in 5 years.
Right.
No.
Where will I be placed in 5 years?
So I take the next step. I keep my connection to spirit open, and I look at what shows up and what I'm guided to do, and that's where I go. So I have no specific, this is where I'm headed next. I'm just seeing what shows up and saying yes to it. And it's so fun in my coaching and healing business. Something will come across, whether it's a book someone suggests or a podcast or something, or a class I took and I learned something. And almost every time, the next client I have, it's like, oh, that's why I learned that, because now I'm going to use this with you.
Right.
So
That's
I
right.
love it. Just it's so freeing to not think I have the answer of what's next in my life. I'm just being joyful where I am and being open to what shows up and what feels like a yes for me.
That's another pivotal kind of statement, Sara. I mean, like these are huge. What am I learning right now that's going to help my clients or going to help my customers?
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, this horrible, bad, terrible thing happened to me. It's like, no, what am I learning so that I'm going to be giving something back? That happened during my publishing class. I've been publishing books for 8 years. Don't you know, in my publishing class, one of the issues that I had in the very beginning of publishing that I haven't had in 7 years came up as a problem with the books that I was helping them do. And it was so fascinating because I was like, no, this never comes up anymore. But because it doesn't come up for me, it doesn't mean it's not going to come up for you. And so even as I was teaching them something, the curse of knowledge, right, that says, I already know, so I think everybody else does,
Right.
wasn't even at play. I couldn't even get around the fact that they're probably going to face this issue. And so, universe is good, man.
Well, and that brings up
it tells
another,
us what we need to know.
yeah, that brings up another good point, is that we have a level of knowledge and experience. Everybody does, right? And so if someone feels called to entrepreneurship and to, offering something to others, they know more about that than other people, even if it's just a little bit more. And so let go of the propensity to judge yourself as, oh, who am I to say or do this, right? Well, if you have the passion for it and you've done all the study that you've done, because otherwise you wouldn't be going into business, then you know a lot. And the other people are looking to you for guidance or a product, and you have this answer for them, right? That it's fun to share, right? If you look at it as, wow, they're going to be so excited to know that this exists, right?
Right.
Rather than, oh, I'm bothering them by telling them about my product or service. Right?
that is so key. It's so key because we don't know. what will be helpful. I mean, I've done so many different types of interviews and talked to so many different types of people. And sometimes people will say some things that I've heard 100,000 times, but they say it in just that different way. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I get it even deeper now. Might have gotten up here surface, but then it like really drops in. And, so it's like being completely okay with sharing, which I think is so important. So important.
Yeah. Well, and the combination of each person's uniqueness, right? All of the learning, all the experience that you have is different than what I have. And so the people who can benefit from what I have are going to find me. People who can benefit from what you have are going to find you. And so just to acknowledge that you have something unique, you are something unique. No one else has what you are, right? No one else. You are special in that way. And so celebrate that and share it from that vantage point, that I have something unique to contribute to these people, to this situation, and it's my joy to contribute it.
I couldn't think of anything better to kind of close up and end on. Sara, thank you so much for being here and sharing this time with us.
Absolutely.
Sara Blumenfeld, .com. That's where you want to go. Mention the book and Start Up to Stand Out. And you're going to get a free month of the quantum work that she was talking about. So please do that. Sara, do you have anything else you'd like to close with?
Just to tell our friends who are listening, you are amazing and a unique contribution to the world. Get out there and do what makes your heart sing. Get out there and not only give to people, but also receive from people. It's equally important to receive. And as women, we very often get in the give. And no, I'm fine. I don't need it, right? Refusing to receive, but it's a flow, right? It's an energy flow. And if you're wanting to receive clients and money, you also need to receive, people assisting you or asking for help and so on. So get out there and just do it. Just do it. Your contribution is important to this world, and we need you now more than ever.
Thank you so much, Sara. I greatly appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. It's been fun, and I've really enjoyed being part of the book. I'm excited to see it come out.
Me too.